Hello and welcome to South of King's Landing, Explosion X After Show, where we're breaking down, discussing each and every episode of House of the Dragon Season 2. My name's John Blight, and joining me to discuss the finale of Season 2, Ashley Helbley.
Hey John, excited to be here and excited to start counting down 2 years' time, Season 3 coming. All right.
Yeah, do you have a app set up?
I should.
Yeah. How many days until...
How many days till House of the Dragon Season 3?
Oh, only 627?
Yeah, okay. Guess I'll have to do.
Might be alive then. Well, let's... I feel like this has been an interesting one, at least, because usually, well, actually, it's been more interesting for me because I've actually ended up with a Monday off for the first time. So I watched it live, and I've had the time to see the
memes,
the memes and the reaction. Where I usually come home from work and I watch it and I jump on, and I don't really have any of the in between. So it's been interesting. But the season finale, titled "The Queen Who Ever Was," synopsis was: as Aemon becomes more volatile, Larys plots an escape while Rhanera looks to press her advantage. Directed by Geeta Vasant Patel, written by Sarah Hess. What did you make of the season finale, Ash?
I mean, it was good. I think, yeah, it's interesting because I feel like expectations were that maybe this finale would be a little bit more action heavy, but really it was, the finale pretty much served as setting all the pieces in place for season 3. You know, there was a lot of big moves, definitely a lot of important conversations, key moments. I feel like this episode is surprisingly quotable at times, or at least had quotes that were hilarious to me.
Was all your quotes just Aegon laying in bed, just while someone's doing it? Really didn't feel like it. Honestly, that scene was so funny to me, just because it felt like someone was intercutting, like it was a YouTube video where someone had taken the very serious scene, which people used to do early days of YouTube, where they'll take like one actor and then they'd like cut themselves in, like where they're pretending to be in the film. So it's like someone's like, "My prince will take you, my king will take you across the... My piss just runs down my leg." Yeah, it just exploded like a fucking sausage. Like, it didn't seem like it added up at all. And yet it was.
It was fantastic. Some of the best acting. Give that guy an Emmy. Yeah, I think, it was definitely a very strong finale. Yeah, I feel like it setting the scene. I mean, I feel like, obviously, I've just finished watching the episode, and there is like the 10-minute sequence of them flashing back to every single cast member and seeing exactly where they are. So maybe that's kind of leading my feelings as to like, oh, it's all setting up for season 3. I mean, this is a crazy epic finale kind of thing, like the end of Dune Part 1. There's more to the story. You wish you could just get into it right now, but yeah, I mean, I had a good time during the episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I feel my thing is that, so I think it's a fine episode. The biggest the criticism is that basically that it's not as explosive as people expect a season finale to be, which does raise at least an interesting point I've been thinking about, which is, do season finales have to be explosive, or is that just
that's expectations that people have come to have, which is strange because, as we've established multiple times, Game of Thrones did not have explosive finales. It was always a penultimate episode.
Yeah.
And the finale was kind of wrapping everything up,
preparing, was moving people into places for the next
season. Yeah.
So this followed more, and so, I mean, I jumped straight onto Twitter after it ended, and I saw lots of people throwing out, and it's very funny to me, just because I don't agree with this opinion at all, but man, the whole season was just a trailer for season 3. And I'm like, isn't every season then technically a trailer for the
next season?
The next season, is that not what? Is that like if you know there's 5 seasons of a show, does that mean all 4 seasons prior are not as important because they're all trailers for the main part of the show, which to you apparently is the end of the story, the most important.
Is the final season the most important season?
And as Game of Thrones also taught us, no,
it's about the journey rather than destination.
So stop waiting for this show to get to its final season, because we know from history that it's the seasons before that were the best ones, so but yeah, it was I think it was it was just a whatever fine episode, nothing. I think the only part that sort of does annoy slightly, even though I'm like, it is what it is as we start the episode by going over the weight, that
we know,
the weight that we know is coming, and we know that season 3 is not gonna, we're not like, oh man, can't wait for 9 months from now.
Yeah,
it's like,
but we're old, so we're used to that being a thing.
And that there is an element of I do think if a season of a show ends and you're annoyed because it didn't give you a big payoff, and then you're even more annoyed that you have to wait for a very long time until the next season, then doesn't it mean the show's doing a good job at keeping you engaged in its story? So I don't know. So the majority of this episode is just sort of placing people in spots, or sort of attempting to wrap up tiny bits of their story, and then in other parts, Daemon, which we'll get to, I guess, wrapping up. He was the only character that got a sort of an arc wrapped up, I guess. This show, which was this season, which was interesting. And then the whole episode literally just does this 5-minute, 10-minute felt like it went forever montage of, hey, these are all the characters now. But I'll leave Daemon for last simply because he does. I think he's the only one who, as I said, has a wrap up. What did you make of Tywin Lannister's whole weird trip to Bravos thing?
His journey to Bravos.
Yeah.
It was an amusing. I think the interesting thing about this episode is, or at least this season, is we've built up Team Black to be kind of unassailable. We're pretty sure they're going to win because they've gotten all these dragons. They've got this whole army with Daemon now. I think all that is kind of setting up at least some sort of opposition from Team Green. That, there's a fighting. They're giving them some sort of fighting chance in this upcoming war for the next season. And Tywin. I mean, part of me just enjoys seeing a Lannister kind of being forced to fight in the mud with everybody else, and his weird excursion, and giving up, kind of being out bartered, having to give up things that he obviously didn't want to, and that kind of stuff. And then he does get his reward, fucking all their wives.
She was I haven't looked up who that actress was.
She was certainly a character.
She was memorable. Great. Yeah. Very lively from the second comes on screen. So that was quite good. I thought that whole backwards and forth bit and I mean that it does play it as you got the boats, and now there's an enemy to the sea snake, or the what he's now calling a ship or whatever. But then there's the also with all these people getting armies and counter armies and whatnot. But then with the episode ending with this whole idea that the war could end peacefully, it does make you wonder, or somewhat peacefully.
Oh, we know it's not going to.
Well, we know it's not going to, but there's the idea that sort of that offers back on the
Well, the offer's there, but she can't deliver on her promise, so it's not going to.
No, but I also feel like that's not her fault. But yeah, so I feel like because that was one part with this, and I guess that's the other. I guess this is the only thing I'd say is a negative from this episode is that it does jump around a lot and sort of like not give much action, which is fine, but like just tease and tie off and sort of give little capers to these character stories and whatnot. But then probably like 15 minutes of the episode is spent with this Tywin Lannister random Bravos thing, which is fun as it is. I'm like, I don't know. Season finale content? You know?
I mean, that's fair. They could have.
And it's an 8-episode season? I don't know.
They could have spread it out.
Yeah. Is this. Yeah. We do have one scene with Cunty Cole and Gawain Hightower nearly cutting his head off, which was, I mean, you know.
How did you figure it out?
Fabian Frankel got a good monologue in.
Yeah, I thought it was a good scene.
Yeah, it was a good scene for
him.
But his character.
It's a very Dias philosophy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He gets to say dance to dragons, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All that sort of stuff. So I thought that was a good scene.
It was, you know. You just like, you know, we've seen what we've seen. You know, we're all specks within this world. We're atoms within this tiny universe, you know.
The only thing that confuses me about his sudden realization is like dragons flying around. He's been around dragons for a long time because he's been part of the the integrated into the Targaryen family.
Yeah, he's been around there.
He's been around, and then suddenly it's when a bunch of people just gets like flamed upon and burnt to a crisp. Where he's like, "Oh, I never thought that would equal that." Like, you know,
that
like
could have been me.
Yeah, like I don't know how he never like it.
I'm
took,
emo now.
Yeah, it's like, but it's like what the saying about like you can't see the whatever the wind for the willows. I don't know, whatever. What's the saying? Trees for the pancake.
Trees for the forest.
Yeah, trees for the forest. You know, like I'm like, my dude, you're staring at dragons all day, every day. And like you never thought that's the outcome. Like what did you think? You really thought that you really thought men were going to win this war? Like it was always about dragons. I don't know. Bit silly. Over in King's Landing, we then have Aemond. Well, he burns down. Firstly, the episode starts with him getting so shitty at getting like basically
being on the back
shirt coated by the queen
dragons
herself and all the new dragons and whatnot at the end of last week's episode. That he goes and just burns down town for the fuck of it. Is basically how that plays out. Now, I don't know the town's name. I can't remember. However, I assume it's a town that was more. I assume they were leaning more towards Rhanera, right? He didn't just go, fuck it, like
fuck these guys.
Yeah, like, but still, obviously the like burning down a random town for no reason is just, and we know he's a hot cake, but now other people are seeing that too. Then he comes back to King's Landing and he tries to get Helena to ride her dragon, which to be honest, I was like, that's right, she has a dragon. I forgot. She's Targaryen. Okay. Yeah, that's right. She's got a dragon. But yeah, she says she doesn't want to ride to war, and of course not. She's a
she's a clairvoyant.
Well, I was trying to pick my words carefully, but yeah, she's a clairvoyant. she's a she's a hippie. She's all peace, love, and unity.
No, that's fair.
She's not down for these war vibes,
killing people things. Yeah,
killing people things. So that's fair. Yeah, not much aim in this episode. Like literally one and a half scenes we get, which is fine. But I thought, it's a surprise he wasn't in it as much, considering he's the man in charge at the moment. So anyway, bit odd. Another little caper, lots of little capers. That's what I mean. Like there's little just cap off storylines, but not really the finish. But think of it like you get this like Lord Corley scene with the with his bastard son, who they finally, after all season, like back and forth, not saying anything, finally have like a, you you want to be dad now that your other children are dead. I see how it is. Basically, that's how the scene played out. Like, I'll do what's required of me for my job, but fuck you piece of shit.
Much.
Pretty much, I feel like that's how that played out. And I mean,
it was good.
Again, it was good. Yeah, it deserved it.
Yeah, it totally did. You know?
But again, it's like that. I feel like it is that, like, it's like these little story, like, but we know there's going to be more to that.
No, we know they're going to save each other, and he's going to die in his arms, like and he's going to be very sad. You know.
Yeah, there's going to be something. They give these little like season, like,
or he'll outright acknowledge him as the heir to, whatever, the C-Seps or whatever.
The
whatever his domain is.
Yeah, I can't remember the 7 Seas. I don't know. So, I guess. And then before I guess the only other thing that was really happening this episode before the main crux of everything was we do have the new Dragon Riders just,
coming into conflict. Well, Ulf coming into conflict with Jacaerys, Jacaerys being all pouty like he was last week about these new Dragon Riders kind of threatening his station within, that kind of stuff, even though is it Baylor tries to talk to him and talk him up, but when he walks into that room, I mean, Ulf was kind of in the wrong. Have some manners. You're in a castle.
I don't think he's not mentally there. Like, I don't think he understands the like he's from the streets, dog.
He's from the streets.
My favorite line though was, and I even took it as like, I'm pretty sure he was legit joking, but everyone in the room took it so serious. Was just when Rhaenyra's like, a knight would control himself or whatever, and he just goes, well, you better make me a knight then. Which I did take as him. That's just that character because he would talk like that.
I mean, he literally says, you could all use your sense of humor.
Yeah, which
sense of humor really all good.
Yeah. I assume like he's going to be a problem. He's going
to goof off and get somebody killed.
Yeah, something's going to go wrong there. Like, I don't think he's going to betray anyone or whatever because he's just not. That's not a thing within his character.
Not that
smart. I do feel like if one of them's going to play out, this is why you shouldn't have random people riding dragons. Like story, surely it's him. I don't know. Maybe gets the wrong people killed, loses control of his dragon for a second, accidentally burns someone he shouldn't have. I don't know. Something that says this is why you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Still enjoyed it. And then I guess the crux of the episode, the payoff of this season plays out over, thank God, with Daemon finally being done with spooky time with Witch Lady for the 18th time, or eight episodes, so 8th time this season, and thank God he's moving on from this storyline. But Daemon wanders around the castle all season. He has a very, very long-winded way to get to the realization that he doesn't actually want the crown, or I guess there's two things: A, that he doesn't actually want the crown, and then B, this episode, the realization that there's bigger things in the world than
the Daemon,
him, and even this current war, which is he sees a vision
of Game of Thrones,
basically, of a Song of Ice and Fire, I guess. Yeah. Well, he sees many things. I looked up a breakdown. Most of it obviously is pretty standout, but like pretty obvious. But I think at the start I was a bit confused, like who that character was. But it was whatever, someone blah 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 who becomes the first free-eyed raven, or like something someone, and then But the rest is
you get the Night King, you get the shot of Daenerys.
Yeah.
which I'm assuming was probably just an actress playing Daenerys.
Oh, 100%. That's why it's only backwards. Like,
they could have literally used footage from this.
Yeah,
I guess, or maybe they shot that from another angle and it's just unused footage. We don't know.
Yeah, but he sees all that, and then has this massive, I guess, realization. But it does play out in. It made for a cool scene. Also, him touching what are those trees called? You know how they have one in
I don't
Winterfell or whatever.
Godswood
Weird
or
wood trees. Okay. Yeah, like that little weird face they have on them, and stuff like that. So, also creepy dude with the antlers just running around in the background there. Sure, why not?
Yeah. when he had the meeting with old mate,
like,
Rhaenyra kicked out of what?
Yeah. Do you hear that?
Traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that dude to die, but
it's like Daemon, gives himself a Rhaenyra and then pulls out a sword and kills the dude just like he killed the dude last week.
Yeah.
God stand for traitors. No.
I did like the way it all played out, even though I have been adamantly over this storyline for at least a few episodes now, or felt like it was just dragging, which it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it could sustain the season-long pacing here. But finally seeing Rhaenyra be like, fuck it, I'll just go find out. Like, there's just like a whole season of it. I wonder what Daemon's up to. I'm going to go find out. I might just fly down there. And I don't know if it was the added, like the ladder that she got, I guess was the string point, the point. But I'm like, I mean, really, you could have flown down there at any point, but
yeah,
like you could have just found out yourself. But anyway, you had to give him time to himself and to mull it over and whatever else. But it made for a cool scene. I like where they, do the whole I'm going to speak in
High Valyrian,
and stuff like that, and back and forth. And then they have that little cheeky where she gives him if you ever abandon me again or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's weirdly romantic. It's like I tried, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
You were too far from my mind.
Little flirtatious line.
They almost kiss, and then
but they give you that
crowd.
They give you that line to be like, I guess they give little flirties to be like they're still into each other. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, then having him swear his allegiance and everyone bowing down finally was pretty cool.
To a queen, yeah.
To the queen finally. And I guess more importantly, having Daemon bow down and like pledge his allegiance in front of all those people was the payoff.
Just to kind of make it clear. Make it clear this isn't a three-way fight.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then pretty much the show wraps up with this season and this episode wraps up with the final scene, which is Rhaenyra awoken because Alicent has come for a visit.
Mirroring the end of episode 4, I think. Was well, maybe it's the second episode where Rhaenyra goes and visits Alicent.
Oh, but in the
yeah.
So Alicent comes to visit. Very good scene.
Episode 3, sorry. Yeah.
Good pacing. I like the way they give the characters room to breathe and let the dialogue sit here. One thing that consistently annoys me in movies and TV shows is just I'm like, people don't like.
No.
Sometimes
silence.
when people say shit, there's no like they don't. Yeah, no. Like there was a good amount of silence in this scene that I appreciated between the two of them. Also a good amount of smarthy "fuck you then, bitch" from Rhaenyra too.
Totally justified. Totally justified. Alicent is coming hat in hand to apologize and trying to everything has not worked out for her, so she's like, trying to bargain as best she can, but Rhaenyra is getting her shots in, and it's very delightful to see. I'm disappointed that she didn't mention that her lover was Kristen Cole, and I would have loved to see the reaction to that. And just like Rhaenyra coming up with some jokes, Really?
I mean, because the thing is, and that's why she was always annoying, even as viewers of the show. It was like she got all in her fucking high horse about Rhaenyra fucking Christian Cole just to go fuck Christian Cole.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So I'm glad she got some shots in there. That was good fun. And then her offer basically is that Aemon's going to fly out to join the battle or whatever in 3 days. So at that point, she can let at that point, I keep forgetting how many characters.
Helena will be in charge.
Elena will be in charge. She can get Elena to agree to basically, you're the rightful queen. We surrender. And the one asterisk on all this was that Rhaenyra's like, well, I've got to, someone has to die amongst all this. So, a son for a son. Where's your half-burnt son?
Where's the son that I can put out of his misery?
Yeah, give me that one. Let me put that.
I mean, that's a pretty fair trade.
Yeah.
This son
he's nearly fucking dead anyway. Like,
desperately wants to die. To be perfectly honest.
His penis is burst like a sausage, Like,
I mean, for him, I mean that's a fate worse than death. So
just put him out of his misery. Which she's originally, I like the way it's just very quickly when Alicent's like, well, I might be able to turn him, and then she's like, basically says, for fuck's sake, he's still living in dreamland. Like this is not, if you want to do this, if you've come all the way here, if you want to do this plan, if it was me, if it was anyone else, if this was you, if this was whoever this was, it doesn't matter who was in this position, Aegon's head would have to go. Like that's the that's the facts. Like in this is the way this has to play out. I need Aegon's head. Let alone a son for a son. Like even if that wasn't part of it, she would still need Aegon's head. Which she agrees and says, yep, I'll organize that. And then the episode basically ends with
she never says outright.
She nods.
The words never escape her lips.
She says, I'll do it.
She just nods and agrees.
Yeah. I think she's agreeing. I think she's willing.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's agreeing it as much as she can without saying, you can kill my son. So I'm sure that's some sort of like personal thing that's like that's a boundary she can't bring herself to say.
She ain't gonna watch it happen, but she ain't gonna stop it either. Yeah, that's how I took it. But we know that's not gonna happen because amongst the
closing montage,
3-minute FMV montage that was put together at the end of this episode, very weird. Music choice also odd to me. It's not like I hated it, but I was just like, it felt very weird, but didn't feel like it suited this show. But you see that Aegon has taken up Clubfoot's offer to go hide out in, where were they going? I can't remember.
Essos,
yeah, that's it. So he's like, I've been hiding money in Essos for years. We'll be able to live good there. Come hide out there. Let your brother let Aemon and the would-be queen fight each other. Once they've nearly killed each other, and all the losses and dust have settled, we'll come back, and you'll be the, I don't know what he calls himself at the end, the king that returns.
Aegon the rebuilder. Aegon the peacemaker.
Yeah, all these ridiculous.
Aegon the realm's delight.
Yeah, Aegon the Dickless. That's was the one I had thrown out as well.
I didn't hear that one, but
so yeah, we the audience know that even though Alicent's leaving, going, all right, 3 days from now, this shit's coming to an end. Rhaenyra's going to bed, going 3 days from now, this shit's going to end. I'm going to go in. I'm going to get ahead. We're going to call this a day. While that's happening, or the next morning, who knows how time works in the show sometimes. But Aegon has slipped off in a secret carriage with Clubfoot to Essos. So yeah, there you go. So where do we go from here? In 2 years, when we finally watch season 3.
Well, obviously they're going to realize Aegon isn't there, and then they're going to go to war.
With who?
Each other.
Do you think that's how it's going to play out though? Like, so
I don't
Rhaenyra
know.
rocks up to do the plan, says, "Hey, I'm here." They're like, "Yep, we surrender." Where's Aegon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's fucked off. Where's oh, he's flying. Like, and then she goes, "You know what? Keep your castle."
No, she's going to take over the King's Landing, but they're all going to go to war elsewhere, you know. Daemon's army is going to be fighting the Lannisters, and Aemon's going to be fighting somebody, and obviously there's going to be this massive ship battle between the Bravos sailors and the Sea Serpent's army, you know.
Yeah. So I assume it's not I assume it's not an element of Rhaenyra keeping the fight going for the sake of it, but the people, the supporters of the king, I guess, Aegon's people are like, well, he's still out there somewhere, so we're going to keep fighting for him.
Yeah.
So unless you can get his head to show
in
the
my
people
mind,
he's dead,
Rhaenyra is going to be like, we'll wait the 3 days, you know, until Alicent fulfills her promise, and maybe, you know, Team Black or Team Green attack before then, or they're caught on the back foot because they are waiting, you know, and that gives them some sort of advantage, some sort of plausibility in the fight against 7, soon to be 8 dragons.
well, yeah.
Because how depressing would it be if Lena walked all the way through the area, you know, froze through the middle of the night, finally comes across this wild dragon, and like the next season just opens up and this wild dragon just breathes fire on her.
Episode starts.
Yeah. Like, yeah, wild dragons don't.
Welcome back to Game of Thrones, bitch.
Yeah.
It's tough out here. Characters can die anytime.
This is one house that the dragons are on top.
Yeah, that's right. No,
Dragon at the house.
She's definitely getting that dragon.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Yeah, so she has older dragons, basically.
Yeah. There you go. And also, let's slip that the Alicent's other son is like a dragon rider, which I don't know if we knew though. The one who's in Old Town.
Who we haven't seen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Otto's been captured by somebody.
Yeah, that was the weirdest. Like, out of everything in that montage, like, you're like, okay, you got these people. Yep, they're marching the war. They're marching the war. They're on the boats to war. Like, it was like all these characters on their way to war. I was like, I get it. Thematically, war's coming, dragons, war's coming. Otto's captured. Huh? You know, like,
yeah.
So, yeah, that was a weird thing. But they were like, hey, remember? No, Otto, Reese Ifans, back for season 3, baby.
Yep.
He didn't have much to do this season, but don't worry, he'll be back. He's got captured somehow by someone. I don't know. Who would have captured him? Anyone, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like not a lot of options. Maybe it's a new player that we don't know about yet. So.
I assume it has to be, because I feel like if someone... Actually, no, I'll say that. It can't be... It cannot be someone from Rhaenyra's side, because she would know about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure if someone was like, we've captured Otto Hightower, she'd be like, cool. Like, she would know. So it has to be a third party. Like, has his castle then been taken over? Is her son, like, does Alicent's son now in danger as well? Like, I don't know. He got captured. He never actually got home. I mean, that explains why he's not replying.
That would make more sense.
The letters and stuff. Yeah, he just never got home or something. So that would make sense. All right. Any other tidbits from this episode, from this season?
No. You know, I'm looking forward to a full season of Ulf. Just being a dick. I just saw a meme where it's the 3 new dragon riders, and it's obviously they represent the 3 heads of the you know, that dragon. There's the 2 serious heads, and then there's the 1 goofy head.
Oh,
because in the photo he's doing the gangster peace sign in the photo. Yeah, that's pretty good.
For some reason, when you said this is just where my brain goes. You're like the dragon with 3 heads, and I'm like, the fusion card for the Blue-Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, that's the one.
Because that's a pretty serious looking dragon. I don't know. Yeah, solid season. Look forward to season 3 in 2027 or whenever the fuck it comes out.
26. Let's have hope.
Let's have hope. Okay, 2026. But yes, we also got a teaser released today for the spin-off show as well. I've already forgot the name of that, to be honest. What was that?
Isn't someone in the egg?
Huh?
Hang on.
We'll find it together. I mean, a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
That's right. It's about Sir Duncan the Tall and Aegon the Fifth Targaryen, or commonly known as Dunk and Egg.
Dunk and Egg. The synopsis says, a century before the events of Game of Thrones, 2 unlikely heroes wandered Westeros, a young, naive, but courageous knight, Sir Duncan the Tall, and his diminutive squire, Egg. Set in an age when the Targaryen line still holds the Iron Throne, and the memory of the last dragon has not yet passed from living memory. Great destinies, powerful foes, and dangerous exploits all await these impossible, incomparable friends.
So it sounds like we'll have some Game of Thrones related stuff to enjoy in 2025.
Yeah, so it's coming to Max in 2025. The only thing that's annoying to me about this is there something odd about, like, because basically if this is taking place like just kinda like, so it's
100 years after this, and then 100 years before Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so it's like in between both, but it's weirdly like 100 years before Game of Thrones. Cool, that's fine. 100 years, sort of, or a little bit less. I think it's less than 100 years after the war finally ends. I guess the last dragon's dead. I'm like, I don't know. Does it feel like you sort of like I'm still seeing that story? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's an element of, if there's characters, like if we watch the show and these characters like, man, remember dragons? They were scary. Hey, like old mate beat old mate in that war. Remember that battle? That was sick as, bro. Did you hear about that? It'll be like, well, I'm watching that still. Like, I don't want to use.
Yeah. I've got nothing to compare it to, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the audience is kind of just used to weird timelines at this point of stuff and stuff coming out at weird points. I mean, you just pointed at Star Wars, which seems to release stuff constantly that contradicts itself. Or is set in different times at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, everything Star Wars is set around episode 4.
Yeah, but when they try and set it somewhere else, they always come back to episode 4.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Obviously, we'll watch it. I hope it's good. But yeah, there is part of it where my head's like, I don't know, kind of. Could have.
Like, wait till this is over.
I could wait till this is over. Not to say I don't want another spin-off. I'm just like, could you do a spin-off that's either after Game of Thrones, in this current timeline, or I don't know, so non-connected. I don't know. The fact I think maybe it's just the fact that it's like Targaryen in it, right? I'm like, that's too close to home. But anyway. All right, thank you for joining us this season on House of Dragon, discussing House of King's Landing, discussing House of Dragon Season 2. It's been a good time. Hope you've enjoyed our discussions each and every week. Of course, you can check out exposurenetwork.com for all the other great shows you can listen to over there. Reviews, news, fun things, podcast section, review section, buttons to click, things to scroll through, things to listen to. Ticks all the boxes of a stellar website, I think, personally. 10 out of 10. You should bookmark. Visit daily. Love that for us. Thank you very much for listening. Until 2026. Or, no, actually, 2025, when we're talking about this show, which we'll have to make a name for. But, see you then. Goodbye.